One of the things we just mentioned NCAA not being able to change very well. They're
Yeah.
actually changing with the times for one thing, and that is the name, image, and likeness
Yes.
situation.
Finally.
They have to figure out what they're gonna do by July 1st of this year. Name, image, and likeness that started in September 2019 after California passed the Fair Play to Play Act. I'm sorry,
That's a
which will allow
mouthful.
college coach athletes in the state to profit off their NIL beginning in January 1st, 2023. Law also prohibits universities from revoking an athlete's scholarship for accepting money earned through such means. Misty, how big is this decision coming forward, man? Because
It's
athletes
amazing.
getting paid has been like one of the biggest things for college student athletes. One of the things we just mentioned NCAA not being able to change very well. They're
Yeah.
actually changing with the times for one thing, and that is the name, image, and likeness
Yes.
situation.
Finally.
They have to figure out what they're gonna do by July 1st of this year. Name, image, and likeness that started in September 2019 after California passed the Fair Play to Play Act. I'm sorry,
That's a
which will allow
mouthful.
college coach athletes in the state to profit off their NIL beginning in January 1st, 2023. Law also prohibits universities from revoking an athlete's scholarship for accepting money earned through such means. Misty, how big is this decision coming forward, man? Because
It's
athletes
amazing.
getting paid has been like one of the biggest things for college student athletes.
It's one of the things that keeps it a guilty pleasure. Like I feel bad about liking college sports because it is so corporatized and it is so exploitive. And so that has always sucked. It's always been like hard for me to justify, but I do just love college football. But yeah, it's about fucking time. I cannot believe that we are in the year 2021 and we're just now considering. I mean, these kids bring in a unbelievable amount of money into these schools. It is an unbelievable amount of money and they get none of it. And people will try to justify that by saying, oh, but they get a free education. And okay, but that's not even almost close to fair. And they're the ones producing the labor and they're seeing none of that benefit. Yeah, they might get a free college education, but some of these kids leave after 2 years and head to the NFL or the NBA, and so they don't get a degree. And so it's just really, really, really bad that it's taken this long. But I am super happy. When California passed it, I was stunned, and super excited, and I was like, wait. If they're doing this in California, they're going to have to do it nationwide because that would give California schools an unbelievable advantage in recruiting. And so it's going to happen nationwide. And I think it's long overdue. I'm super excited that it's happening. I'll be interested to see like how they, roll it out, how that's going to work, because I'm not smart enough to figure out how you make that fair, and beneficial for everybody. And so that I'm really interested to see what the final, like the final ruling looks like. But I'm pumped. This is really long overdue, I think.
So I'm in the same boat as you. I know I'm not smart enough to figure out what
No.
exactly to do, but I know for me, if you're gonna make it fair, if you want to make it equal for everybody, I think that you know, one, the schools themselves shouldn't be like, hey, you're gonna get ticket revenue, you're gonna get gate revenue, and all that. You should be able to get endorsements from whoever it may be. Um, if you're like, if let's say you're from Maryland, like to me, you go to UMD, you're playing football over there. You can go to the bars over there, and bars, small business, whatever it may be, get an endorsement deal from them. There's so many people that's doing practicing, small business stuff around the state. So you're going to be able to get those small deals. I know that there are companies that are trying to partner up with schools in order to make these situations easier, but I don't think you count on the schools to pay for these
No.
things. I think you got to get the social media people, you got to get whoever else to deal with this. I think that's the first and most important step.
Yeah, they need to look at it comprehensively, like from all angles. I don't, and I'm worried too, because I don't trust the people who are in charge of making these decisions to actually think about what's fair. They're going to try to make it so that it still benefits them to the highest degree possible.
Mhm.
And so it would have been cool. I mean, I don't know to what extent. I think players should be involved in these decisions. You know, current players, former players. I think that there should be like a general conversation about how that all works. Like athletes should 100% be involved in the decision making process, and I doubt that they are to much degree, if at all. So yeah, I don't know that I trust them to make this as fair as possible, but the fact that we're even moving in this direction is a huge like first step. Like that's a massive you know, positive change for sure. It's been extremely unfair that these kids have been used to the degree that they are. I mean, college football coaches are like the highest paid paid employees in the
In their
state in
states.
most cases, you
Yeah,
know.
Nick Saban makes. I think Nick Saban makes like 6 million a year in
Yeah,
the state of Alabama. That's ridiculous.
I think Ryan Day makes 4 million.
Mm.
I think. I might be wrong. That doesn't sound right now that I said it out loud, but it's an extraordinary amount. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I'm not saying that, you know, Ryan Day doesn't deserve to be compensated. He's a great coach. He does a great job. He's a great representative for the university. I mean, he's, you know, Mr. Wholesome, rosy cheeks, cute family guy. So I get it. Like that's all I'm all for him being fairly compensated. But the fact that he's like the highest paid employee worker in the state of Ohio, and the football players who actually go out and play the game get nothing, that's a little
yeah,
problematic to me,
that's
you
very
know.
problematic. I
It
think,
is.
and now I don't know how you feel about this, but in my head, I know that we're gonna say the football players and the basketball players, the revenue generating athletes are gonna be able to make the most money
Hmm.
because they're the most seen, obviously. But I feel like you scan through Instagram, you scan through Twitter, usually the most followed student athletes, student profiles are women. You know, especially from, yeah, again, basketball, volleyball, gymnastics, whatever it may be. When you look good, you know, you get a lot of people's eyes on you.
That's
And I
true.
think that we're not giving enough attention to these women student athletes that are probably going to be able to make a good bag over there. I
That's a
mean,
whole other level of consideration too. You have to think about how do we distribute this so that it's fair, and so that, you know, like a field hockey player isn't getting, you know, totally screwed because they just don't happen to play a visible sport, a popular sport. But again, that's a whole, I'm not smart enough to come up with all those things, but you're right. I mean, women are there's like definitely a market for female athletes. But you know, there's so many levels to these decisions, and so many different um you know, just considerations to make to try to, and again, I just don't trust them to have the student athletes best interests at heart when they're making these decisions. So it's probably gonna need work. Like we're not gonna get it right the first time, I don't think. I think it's a fair safe bet to say that this is going to need to be reviewed and looked at and scrutinized, and we're going to have to, like, the fight's not over in terms of making sure that athletes are compensated. um, but at least this is a step in the right direction. I mean, I
so
am.
with
Go
that
ahead.
being said, there are 19 states that have officially passed specific NIL laws. Those are Alabama, or not 19, I'm sorry. It's Alabama, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, New Mexico, Texas. They have a specific NIL law, and 12 states have passed official legislation, but they go into effect within the next 4 years. That's Arkansas, California, Colorado, Maryland, Michigan, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Tennessee. There's a bunch of others to figure it all out. I'm excited for these men and women finally be able to make some money. I know you are too. Um, if there was anybody on Ohio State or anybody in the state of Ohio that you would want to sponsor Facts on the Ground or Bitch or something like that, who would you want to have that could help bring more visibility to these programs, to
Oh,
MCSC, whatever it may be?
that's an interesting question. Wow. I don't know. I would probably um I mean, if we're going to go with visibility, obviously you go with a football player in the state of Ohio. I mean,
Right.
there's no question about that. I mean, that's unfortunate because the like my track of thinking, I immediately was like, well, I'd want to do somebody who's like lesser known, like maybe because I played softball, maybe a softball player or somebody. But I mean, if you're looking to get the most bang for your buck and like the most visibility for MCSE, you would have to go with a football player because the state eats and breathes and it's like we bleed red, scarlet and gray, you know what I mean? So you know, I would probably do, I mean, our quarterbacks are always really visible. You know, but there's also like sometimes you'll get players who you know, come out and have like larger than life personalities that maybe aren't even, you know, great players, but I mean, we've had a couple of those. So I think there's a lot of things you have to look at, but I would probably go with whoever we decide to make quarterback is always a good choice. You know, like you get somebody like a Chase Young who had the whole predator thing going on for him, which I thought was genius.
Yeah, I think Ohio State's one of the few. I'm sorry, like one of the few football programs that have like a what's it called, like athlete
Like they do like
marketing stuff.
Listen, Ohio State, I'm not even kidding. This is not because I'm biased, even though I am. They are so good at working with their players on all aspects. They're good at dealing with like their marketing. They're good at like helping them learn how to do interviews and social media and all of that stuff. They work with them on their grades. They work with them on doing, you know, like charitable work throughout the communities. Like it's like an all around program. They really do like get involved and, you know what I mean? Like try to, you know, build these kids up, which I love. But yeah, and I can tell you now, the video crew at Ohio State is so good. The hype videos, I'm not kidding. Like I want the Ohio State video crew to make me a hype video for my life. Like, you know, ooh, Comrade Misty's going to the grocery store and like make me a whole video where it can hype me up like for my normal boring life because they are so good. They could make like, you know, the most mundane thing feel like pump you up. They're so good. But yeah, whoever came up with the predator thing for Chase Young, if you guys don't know who Chase Young is, I'm sure you do because everybody knows who Chase Young is if you watch college football. But you know, he had the dreads and he just kind of looked like the predator. And I don't know who came up with that for him. I think he said it was one of the coaches maybe. But it was gold. I have a shirt with Chase Young as the predator on it.
Nice.
It's so marketable. But yeah, every once in a while you'll get a player like that who kind of comes in with like a certain magic, and that's always, you know, nice to be able to use to get your brand out there, I guess. We sound so capitalist right now.
It's very, I mean,
it is.
I think that's one of the problems that I mean, again, with the expansion and with NIL.
Yeah.
People are gonna, like, nothing is sacred. People are gonna make money off of it.
It sucks, but I would rather this happen than exploit these players.
Exactly. Yeah. That's one of the main things that people have had an issue with, even if, you get a free education, but you're not going to be able to, you can't get a job.
No. And a lot of these kids come from nothing. Like you come from nothing and they can't, how are they supposed to have money to like take their girlfriend to the movies or, you know, go bowling with their friends or just eat on a daily basis? Like it's not, these kids, you know, they shouldn't be exploited, period. End of story. Like that's really what it boils down to. They're putting in all the labor and they get nothing for it. I mean, yes, again, they get the college education, but that's not good enough.
Yeah. And we all know about that open secret too of boosters, you know, being prepared to offer cars, offer houses for families, whatever it may be. Even that isn't enough sometimes. You can't rely on the booster because the booster can get caught.
Yeah.
This NIL stuff.
I mean, I've seen the movie Blue Chips, fam. I know.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Me too. I just watched it the other day. That's why I just brought it up because I bought it. It was in like the $5 DVD bin at the store or whatever. Right. And it was like laying on top and I'm like, I love that movie. So I bought it and I watched it the other night. My brother and I used to watch that all the time.
For Shaq. I think that's Shaq's best movie performance.
I think so.
One of the better athlete performances ever. Michael Jordan sucked in Space Jam.
Yeah.
Ray Allen he was decent and he got game.
Yeah.
You know,
they remade Space Jam with LeBron and I just why?
Are you gonna watch it?
I don't know. Maybe
if the kids are wanting to watch it.
Yeah, if my kids want to watch it, I won't have a choice. But I don't know. Why? Nobody asked for that.
Understood.
You know. Space Jam wasn't great. That's a terrible millennial thing of me to say, but Space Jam wasn't great the first time.
With that being said, again, NIL, playoff expansion, we got 19 states that have officially passed some sort of NIL laws. Um, with this legislation, you'll be able to make money off of social media, of course, sponsored posts, autographs, YouTube channels, and Twitter videos. Again, I think you went to South Florida or like something like that, or Central Florida, UCF, the Golden Knights. There was a YouTube. He was a kicker, and he was making videos with him kicking at facilities. He ended up having to quit the team because he was violating NCAA laws, saying that like you can't profit off of
See, that's
like the football stuff.
bullshit.
Yeah, that is bullshit.
That's
But
bullshit.
yeah, either way, YouTube channels, Twitter videos, he can do private training lessons, merchandise, endorsement deals,
Yeah.
NIL being able to change a lot of these people's lives that again, you could have a family, be taking out your girlfriend, whatever it may be. You need to have money to do these things.
Yeah. Life
Expansion,
isn't free. I mean,
not at
we
all.
can't expect these kids to survive on nothing. And just like from a personal Ohio State perspective, our kids couldn't even like trade in their own memorabilia for like tattoos or whatever, which is a dumb thing to
That's
do.
right. That was 2015, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
I think that was the season after they won the Natty, right?
yeah. Yeah. And it's bullshit. Like you get gold pants every time you beat Michigan, right? And if you that's yours. It was a gift given to you. And if you want to trade that for a tattoo, I highly recommend not doing that because when you're 60, you would much rather have your gold pants that you could pass down to your children or your grandchildren than some tattoo. Listen, I love tattoos. I have 4, but don't make that decision. You're young and dumb and don't do that. I mean, at 19, 20, I probably would
Yeah.
have done it. But I'm highly recommending against it. But you should be able to do that. It's yours. You should be able to sign an autograph and get $20 for it. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
And you know what? As far as like selling, I wouldn't sell like a championship ring or like pants from like not pants, but certain sentimental things I wouldn't want to sell, but like gear that you get from the school, like if you go to UNC, you can get Jordans from Jordan Brand. I'd be willing to sell those, or like the football shorts, practice stuff. I'd be willing
Ron
to sell
gives
that.
our football team shoes
Yeah.
and stuff all the time.
I know high school kids that do that for like their basketball programs and their football programs,
Mhm.
AAU stuff. So high school people college people should be able to do that. With that being said,
Absolutely.
Misty, I know you got your Julian Assange events going on. You got a bunch of things going on. Do you have anything else that you want to leave the HMO audience with before I let you go?
I mean, yeah, if you'll let me hype up the Home Run for Julian tour, I will absolutely do that. So right now, John and Gabriel Shipton, who are Julian Assange's father and brother, they are on a nationwide tour of the United States, going to different stops along the way. They opened up in Miami on January, Jesus, June 6th. And they've been to Miami, New York, Boston, Philly, Columbus, which was my event we just did on Monday. I did that with my friend Andrew, which was awesome. I'm very sunburnt right now. So I think today or tomorrow, sorry, I'm a little tired from having organized that event. Yeah, sorry guys. I'm a little every time you organize an action, there's like a action hangover. Like the next 3 days, you're really tired and out of it. And it's like this weird come down. Whew. Anyways, so I think today or tomorrow they're in today they're in Indianapolis. And then tomorrow they're going to be in Chicago. On June 19th, they're going to be in Milwaukee. On June 20th, they'll be in Madison. June 21st, they'll be in Minneapolis, St. Paul. On June 23rd, they're going to be in Denver, which is my friend and co-host from the Action for Assange Vigil. That's her neck of the woods. That's Kendra. And they have a bunch, like they have like 3 different events planned that day. So if you're in the Denver area, definitely check that out. Portland is June 24th. Oakland is June 26th. San Francisco is June 27th. LA is June 28th and 29th. And then they're going back to DC. I forgot to mention that they've been to DC. They're going back to DC on June 30th and July 1st. And then that actually leads up to Julian Assange's 50th birthday, which is on July 3rd. So that'll be leading into actions that we're all planning across the globe on July 3rd as well. So that's the Home Run for Julian tour. If you have an event near you, please go to it. It's super important. There's been another crazy thing happening in the UK where they're now saying that they can come and arrest you if you publish anything that risks national security, which is such a vague and broad statement. And
Yep.
it's terrifying that we're reaching this level of censorship and control over information and journalism. So yeah, we need to start speaking out against that. If you have an event near you that you can go to, try to make it out. There's plenty of information on, I think it's AssangeDefense.org. They also have a Twitter page, which I think is at Assange Defense, if I remember right. It might be Defense Assange, I'm not sure. But just, Google home run for Julian, it'll come up. Or if you search the hashtag, there's plenty of hashtags out there that we've been tweeting at different events. So yeah, definitely check all that stuff out. Tonight, like you mentioned earlier, I have Bitch with Comrade Misty at 7:00. We're gonna have Sky Daddy and Fiorella Isabel from Convo Couch on at the same time. So it's gonna be the three of us for 2 hours, just letting loose, which should be highly entertaining. I'm very excited about it. So check that out. And yeah, you can find Facts on the Ground on YouTube and Rockfin. We just interviewed Tara Reid. That's definitely posted on both of our channels if you want to check that out. Oh, and we're also on Odyssey, I guess. I always forget to mention that. Right. And you can just find me on Twitter at Sarcasm Stardust. And yeah, I think I remembered everything. I'm usually pretty bad about remembering all my stuff, but I think I just hit them all. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Missy told me before the show that she's not good at self-promotion.
I'm not, but I just nailed that. I just did it.
Definitely killed that.
Yeah.
Yo, guys, Julian Assange, we got, if she's not number one, she's number 1A with Snow Newsday, Steve, Allie, Glory, always promoting and saying free Assange, doing a whole bunch of things for those guys. Journalism isn't a crime. Exposing war crimes isn't a crime. Free Julian Assange, free Commander X. Congrats to Reality Winner for being released. We hope to see that being done soon for Assange and Commander X. I mean, it's a scary world, guys, when you want to fight power and you want to put out knowledge out there, but you got to do what's right for the people, not what's right for them. But Missy, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
To talk to you about the NIL and college football playoffs. We are all guys. Bang. My guy or gal, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, and share this video for the latest on sports, progressive politics, and pop culture.